Hi everyone, I'm Austin Molenaar and I'm a business associate for Quest. I'd like to thank you guys all for taking time out of your day to listen to this presentation on Foglight for SQL Server. In this presentation, I hope to address issues that DBAs are facing every day and how Foglight poses a solution to these issues. In a typical environment, there's an enterprise monitor in place. These monitors give very general information as it pertains to databases, providing little to no help for database administrators. Enterprise monitors such as HP, CA, IBM, BMC, and SCOM all fail to provide the information needed to detect, diagnose, and ultimately resolve issues in your database's performance. This is where Foglight, our cross-platform database monitoring tool, comes into play. Foglight for SQL Server is an award-winning product that is unparalleled in both design and functionality, but don't take it from us. Fortune 500 companies like PayPal and Disney, to name a few, are all users of Foglight because it poses a solution to issues that their DBAs are facing every day. A few main challenges DBAs face every day include a lack of visibility into your SQL environment, so you can't fix what you can't see, and a lack of visibility will ultimately lead to more database performance issues. Another issue would be no access to historical data. Access to this data allows you to go back in time and pinpoint exactly where and when problems have occurred in the past. Without access to this data, it can be impossible to accurately diagnose problems and use trends in your data to prevent these problems from happening more in the future. But even once these problems have been diagnosed, they can be tough to resolve without the proper information or guidance. So imagine if you guys went to a doctor's office and all the doctor told you was you are okay or you aren't okay. Well, this can be comparable to an enterprise monitor telling you your databases are up or down. But this wouldn't help you solve the problem, and it definitely wouldn't help you prevent the problem from happening more in the future. Dealing with these issues ultimately leads to time being wasted on database performance management rather than other important tasks like planning for or developing your database environment. If you guys are facing similar problems, let's take a look at Foglight and see how it can be a solution. So this is the global view. The global view allows you to organize all of your instances by platform type, alarm severity, and the number of instances. You can monitor hundreds of database instances across all of your platforms, which can include SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, Sybase, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Azure, MongoDB, and Cassandra, all through a single pane of glass, so all on one main home screen. This allows you to determine your most critical instance alarms and immediately take action to resolve performance issues, both for SQL Server and across other platforms in your database environment. Here, the red shows the most critical alarms and the yellow shows the least critical alarms. When you decide which issue needs to be investigated first, you simply click on it and this will take you to the dashboard page. So this is the dashboard. It provides all the information you need to make sure your database is running correctly. So it's kind of like the dashboard in a car. This dashboard shows critical information including CPU, memory, storage, alarms, and summary reports. But this dashboard page is customizable, so you can put any critical data that affects your database environment. To really understand what this data means though, and if your database is running well, it's important to understand how your database usually runs. And this can be done through the baselining feature. So Foglight will determine what your normal activity is, and it will set up a baseline range, as you can see by the blue bar across the graph. This makes it easy to identify when databases aren't performing as usual. The example above shows an uncharacteristic spike in workload, which can and will affect your database's performance. Foglight ensures that these alarms are only triggered when the baseline ranges are breached, so if this is normal for that time of day, then no alarm will be triggered. This allows the users to be proactive to database issues rather than reactive, so you don't have to wait for phone calls and complaints from end users before fixing the issue. But once these problems have been detected, you can compare it to other time frames or other similar instances for proper diagnosis of the problem. This is the compare feature screen. So it allows you to compare two similar instances when one is having an issue and one isn't. By seeing them side by side, you can figure out exactly why one is having a problem and why one is running fine. This is illustrated in the example above, where two instances are compared over the same time range, and you can see that there's a lot of complex statistics or graphics to help you diagnose what the problem is. The other thing you can do is you can compare one instance over two different time frames, so like Christmas Day 2016 versus Christmas Day 2015, or this quarter versus last quarter, and it allows you to determine if you're experiencing a normal amount of usage or if you're experiencing an anomaly in usage that may be affecting your database's performance. But what really separates Foglight for SQL Server from other database monitoring tools is its ability to do workload analysis. So this takes us to the deep dive multi-dimensional workload analysis feature. This feature allows you to pinpoint your biggest problems, categorized by programs, users, and databases, all the way down to individual SQL statements. By doing this, you can see exactly how database performance is being impacted and how to go about troubleshooting the issue. And finally, Foglight gives you the ability to track changes in your environment, and this can be done through the change tracking feature. So Foglight tracks changes in your environment, which can mean added hardware or schema changes, for example, and they're represented by color-coded dots here on the screen. Foglight will have record of exactly when changes are made to your environment and the impact that these changes are making. So let's say that an employee decides to make an unauthorized change to your database environment. Foglight will record this and determine who the culprit is or what the culprit is and exactly the impact that the change has been making. All of these features empower the DBA to detect, diagnose, and resolve issues before they can make a negative impact on your business. So what's next? For a more in-depth look at Foglight, we can set up a demo with one of our solution consultants. They're the real experts on the product, so they'll have an answer to some of your more complex questions. To do this, you can either contact me, my information is on the screen, or we can set up a demo as soon as this presentation is over, and we can get your questions answered as soon as possible. Thank you all for your time and have a great rest of your day.